Welcome back to this special edition of On the Agenda. I have one more guest that we want to include on this special program, and that's the newest member of the Douglasville City Council, Samuel Davis. Mr. Davis, welcome to On the Agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Osborne.
Now, you viewed the interview that Gwen Summers Redwine did that involved your brother and a couple of other people. What did you think about that interview?
Wonderful.
Gave a little history back from 50 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And I know you were a part of that. So tell us what your role was with the baseball team.
My role with the baseball team, Mr. Osborne, I was the bat boy. And I still have the uniform from back there, and I was showing other guests in here today the uniform from being the bat boy, chasing the balls.
Right.
And my talent was good enough to be on the team, but I can run the balls and get the bats.
Well, I know that every team needs a bat boy as well as players in the outfield and the infield, but those were some special days, weren't they?
Yes, sir. Very special days.
Because on the agenda for February, being Black History Month, we wanted to just show a good slice of life here in the African American community back from 50 to 60 years ago, and I think we accomplished that.
Yes, sir.
Now, tell us a little bit, though, about yourself, not only being the bat boy, but bring us up to date a little bit in terms of what you've done. And I know also you want to mention your nephew as we look at Black history from the 50s all the way up to 2010.
Yes, sir. Mr. Osborne, growing up on the north side, it was good. I had a lot of things I was involved, from Little League to playing with the Douglasville Braves, from being in the entertainment as a musician over at our cousin, Mr. Steele, James Steele. He created and taught me a lot when it come down to music and being a drummer.
Right.
Then as years passed, when integration came about, I was one of the whole group from our cousin to go to Douglas County. And from that point, we had to audition for the band, and man, Mr. Wheeler gave us the Nutcracker Suite to audition. And each and every one of the kids that was involved in music passed. And that was the start of my career as traveling as a musician.
Right.
And we did the Cotton Bowl Parade in Texas. Tim Wheeler was he was my Michael Jordan, because he taught me how to be a professional. Because when we would march and we did not be on that line, he would become behind us in that baton. He would get us up on the line.
Right.
And so, and then from that point on, we organized a band called the Purple Haze Band, which most everybody who grew up here know the Purple Haze Band.
Right.
We traveled throughout, and I had a great time with the Purple Haze. We did a lot. And back then we had a whole lot of hair, and one of the pictures I still got from back in the days, I had an afro.
Right.
And man, it was an afro. And from that point on, I played with a rock band on the ground, Atlanta, from here in Douglas County, called Southern Smoke with Tommy Cook. So I've had a great experience in growing up here, and now I'm a professional DJ, and I work in the professional field now. And coming up, I will be performing with Yolanda Adams at the Gwinnett Civic Center.
Okay.
So I'm still involved, and plus being a barber, professional barber, and I love life.
I know in talking about all the things that you've done in music that there's one particular individual that you've mentioned to me that you wanted to include as you reminisced back in terms of music here in Douglasville. Tell us about this particular individual.
Yes, sir. The Reverend Lewis Cobb Jr. He grew up in my ward, and he was just phenomenal amongst kids. He organized the Douglas County Community Choir, which he brought those kids up to where they was just so professional. And the album, I still have that album today, the Reverend Lewis Cobb Jr. And he's been passed probably now about 2 years, and this is a part of Black history.
And we're delighted that you're now a member of the Douglasville City Council, And, you know, it's kind of like history connecting. Here we have Samuel Davis on the city council, and everybody probably in this community is aware of at least the name Jesse Davis Park, that being your father. As we conclude today, give us a couple of things concerning your father, but also want to mention your nephew.
My father, he created a path where you have to have a goal and a vision. He did not let anything stand in the way. He didn't ask nobody for nothing. He just went out and just done it. And Justin was the same way. My nephew, he went through Douglas County, and he just topped all the records in Douglas County. Then he went Cornell and went through Cornell. I mean, when I went to the graduation, I did not believe all the ropes that he had around his neck.
Right.
And then once he graduated from Cornell, he went to Georgetown, and they was pulling on him then. When he came out of Cornell, he was head of a lot of little groups, little pocket groups in Cornell. Once he graduated from Georgetown, and he started working at the White House, and Hillary, they grabbed him, and now he's an ambassador at the White House for Hillary.
Councilman Davis, I appreciate you being with me today on the agenda. And in a moment, I'll be back to talk final comments with Gwen Summers Redwine.